We will destroy them.
I was hoping for that reaction.
What's the contest?
Baseball.
I wasn't always a baseball fan. Fuck, I wasn't always physically capable of fucking watching it. Like I suspect many of you, when confronted with America's piss-stinking pastime, I dutifully folded my arms and donned my best bitter beer face. To me, it was 3 seconds of action over the course of 3 hours. And then the 2001 World Series happened. And after a brief explanation of how a man with 4 balls can walk and a guy with no balls can score, I was a full-blown baseball fiend. It took me a little over 15 years, or roughly 2.5 Battlefield 1 loading screens to do it, but by God, I got there. Watching religiously in high school and even pitching as a closer in summer leagues in early college. Strategic, cerebral, it's chess with an outfield, and I goddamn love it. More to the point, it's the motherfucking Cisco's favorite sport. Fuck you!
Baseball!
But every time I cranked up the old caca cake console and went swinging for the fences, I left measurably disappointed with the results. From the long-defunct All-Star Baseball series, to High Heat, to the sinking of the 2K Titanic in 2014, while there were moments of brilliance, one got the distinct impression a thinking man's sport was capable of infinitely more. And then Sony stepped to the dish and knocked that fucker to Neptune, taking a hard lingering glance at the customization and season modes of Madden before hanging a hard right on RPG Junction. MLB The Show remains the finest fucking 2-seam symphony in the market, and if you ain't down with that, we got 2 words for you! After an onslaught of innovation in the mid to late 2000s, spurred by the ravenous rivalry between MLB The Show and the MLB 2K series, a rivalry that rendered petty distinctions like sports game utterly irrelevant as they arced in tandem eternally toward the dreaded RPG, let us simply say the tanking of the 2K series has done the reigning Dukes of the Diamond nary a single fucking favor. Like WWE going from King of the Hill to Grand Barons of bullshit in the absence of viable WCW competition, MLB The Show, to put it bluntly, is packed on a fucking few. Whereas prior iterations seemingly reinvented themselves between installments, of late, you're lucky to get one shiny new feature with your annual piss-poor purchase. The 2018 iteration, however, suffers from no such fucking fuckery, dispensing with the omnipresent attribute sliders and misguided XP that's as flawed as it is fucking finite in favor of increasing the player's hitting, pitching, or fielding acumen through actual fucking use. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, the same approach Ultima Underworld employed to reinvent the role-playing genre in the early 90s can now be found in fucking sports titles. Godspeed, Looking Glass. God fucking speed. But it seems whenever my man Achilles takes a lawnmower blade to the knee, it's in connection with the fucking fielding system. All-Star Baseball blew its butthole clean out with this bullshit. The 2K series went to its goddamn grave with nary the beginnings of a clue how to simulate the act of catching a butt-fucking baseball, and evidently the malady is contagious because MLB The Show, like a dyslexic porn slag, is at its agonizing worst when a ball is in the air. Much of this is down to the animation. Oh, it's fluid as fuck. Smooth as hard-boiled nut butter, in fact. But as Street Fighter fans learn in the jump from Flipbook Fighter 2 to far-flung FPS milestones, more frames means more prelude, meaning the mere act of throwing a baseball takes more time than Movie Bob at a cookie dough buffet. Yet it bears more than a cursory motherfucking mention that this concession is in service to some of the smoothest animations you will ever see in a sports game. While prior iterations featured only jaggy-ass approximations of Parkinson's pitchcraft with characters all but locking into a goddamn T-pose to fire off a fucking fastball, MLB The Show 18's more seamless than a burn victim's balls. And whereas I previously mentioned the disappointing dearth of new game modes betwixt each entry in the series, MLB The Show 18 upends that recent failing fucking profoundly between the radical franchise mode facelift, the utterly overhauled Road to the Show, and the augmented but still eminently fucking pointless Diamond Dynasty dog shit. Even if nothing new had been outright added, this would still feel like a radical departure from the more half-hearted efforts of seasons past. I urge the skeptical among you to not dismiss MLB on the basis of genre, because once you toe the rubber and actually fling a fucking baseball, what begins to emerge is less sports and more simulation.
Oh, God!
But therein lies the fatal flaw of the RPG onslaught in this genre. Sure, there's skill involved, meaning a player can empirically improve in the actual enterprise of playing the fucking game, whether it be your timing at the plate, your pitch placement, or response time in the outfield. Fucking sure! But fail to level your avatar's attributes, or God forbid, simply be too early along in their development, and brace for a world-class butt-fucking. I mean, it's great I can pick my pitches, christen my catcher Stinklebottom Von Poopy Pants Esquire, and have enough equipment and fashion upgrades to play Queer Eye for the Mike Mordecai for the next fucking eon, but once my pitcher actually hits the diamond, here's a question. If I aim the pitch, but thanks to under-the-hood horseshit RPG mechanics, you decide where it actually goes, then you decide if the computer hits it or not, then you decide if it's a strikeout, a line drive, or a 4-run fucking blast. What did I do exactly?
The fuck did I do?
Do you need me here? Shall I hand you the controller, Mr. PS4? Would you care for a refreshing Coolada while you're at it, fuckface? I mean, I'd hate to interfere with your Major League masturbation session there, bitch. Next time, hang a tie on the fucking doorknob. Worse still, the fuck-ups the computer makes for you? Add or subtract arbitrary RPG points for a scenario the player may or may not have had any agency in engineering to begin with. Point being, it's a trade-off, making MLB The Show a curious case of opposing aspirations. On the one hand, fans from outside the genre will be bowled the fuck over by one of the most righteous role-playing simulations to be found in a fucking sports title that sadly also leads to actual gameplay that can be among the most frustrating in fucking existence. But I'll happily take the latter when the former is so endlessly entertaining. MLB The Show is a game for devotees of the diamond and the omnipresent uninitiated alike, and yes, even the silly straw chromosome cocksuckers who purport it to be, quote, the slowest game ever. No thunder sped a Chinese fire drill with Ted Kennedy is the slowest game ever. At least in baseball, the ball is always being pitched. Beats the fuck out of the neutered-ass NFL, where a line of limber-dick troglodytes bash the fuck into each other and don't move an inch between 20-minute timeouts for mandatory sensitivity training while the audience passes out to a Prince hologram. MLB The Show remains the motherfucking tits. And in the age where many have wearied of Naughty Dog's third-person cinematic sepia suck-ass simulators, it remains one of the truly unsung crown jewels of Sony's first-party exclusive lineup. While it won't be everyone's cup of tequila, particularly the Rageaholics overseas, go ahead and give the demo a download. You may find, like I fucking did, that these days you find deeper stat building, customization, role-playing, and player agency in a baseball sim than fucking Skyrim. I'm Razor Fist. Fuck the Dodgers.